Okay, let's just jump right in. We're living in a world that's practically designed to drain our energy, right? You've got social media, your phone buzzing constantly. It's a lot. And that's why mastering your own mind isn't just a nice idea anymore. It's absolutely critical. So let's get into how you can actually do it.
So here's the big question, really. Is your mind running you, or are you running your mind? It sounds simple, but think about it for a second. The answer to that question, well, it changes everything. Are you in the driver's seat, actually creating the life you want? Or are you just a passenger, letting some old, unconscious programming take you for a ride? That's what we're going to dig into. And if you're wondering just how big of a deal this is, look at this number, 95%. Research suggests that a staggering 95% of your day, your choices, how you react to things, what you do, it's all run by your subconscious programming. I mean, just let that sink in. That means for most of your life, you're literally on autopilot.
All right, section 1, your mind on autopilot. So let's talk about that autopilot system. The way you see the world, the reality you live in every single day, it's all being filtered. Filtered through these thought patterns you picked up without even realizing it from your parents, from society, from everything around you. And then you project those patterns out onto the world, and you think what you're seeing is the absolute truth, when it's really just your version of it.
You know, the famous psychologist Carl Jung just nailed it with this quote. He said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Wow. I mean, think about that. If you don't dig up these hidden programs and look at them, they are running the show, they're controlling your destiny, and that's exactly why the first step to taking back control is always awareness.
Okay, so what exactly is this subconscious mind? The best way to think about it is like a supercomputer, a seriously powerful one. It has stored every single thing that has ever happened to you, every sight, every sound, every feeling. But here's the kicker, and this is so important. It literally cannot tell the difference between what's real and what you just vividly imagine. Now that might sound like a glitch, but it's not a weakness, it's actually the key. It's the feature that lets us get in there and reprogram the whole thing.
So, where do we even begin? How do we start building a strong mental foundation? Well, before we can even touch that supercomputer, we've got to start with the basics, right? I mean, you can't build a skyscraper on a shaky foundation, and it's the same with your mind. Real mental strength starts with mastering the physical stuff you can actually control right here, right now.
And that foundation, it's built on 3 fundamental pillars. Number 1, mastering your body through exercise. Number 2, mastering what you put into your body, so your diet. And number 3, mastering your surroundings, your environment. And listen, these are not just some nice-to-have suggestions. No way. These are the absolute, non-negotiable bedrock for building a powerful, focused mind.
There's this amazing principle at play here. The outer reflects the inner. In other words, your external world is pretty much a mirror of what's going on inside your head. So if you want mental clarity, guess what the first step is? Create physical clarity. Seriously, cleaning your room, organizing your office, even just cleaning up your computer's desktop. These aren't just chores. They're powerful signals you're sending directly to your mind that you are taking control and creating order.
Okay, section 3, the Mind Mastery Toolkit. Now that we've got that solid foundation built, we can get to the really good stuff. We can move on to the direct practices, the actual toolkit you're going to use to actively develop and master your mind. Think of these as the workouts that sharpen your focus and put you back in the driver's seat.
And this toolkit is packed with some incredible time-tested practices. We're talking about things like meditation, yoga, fasting, mindfulness, and concentration. Now, each one works a little differently, but they all have the same goal: to shift you from being a passive passenger watching your thoughts go by to being the active director of your own focus. It's literally like taking your brain to the gym.
Let's talk about one of the most direct tools in that kit, the power of affirmations. These are just simple, positive statements, but when you repeat them, they can literally overwrite old, limiting beliefs that are holding you back. And here's a pro tip. For maximum impact, you want to use them when your mind is most open and receptive. That's right when you wake up, just before you fall asleep, or when you're in a meditative state.
But listen, how you word these things, it's everything. Just look at this. If you say, "I will be rich," you're actually telling your subconscious that wealth is something in the future, something you don't have right now. It creates a sense of lack. But if you switch it to the present tense and say, "I am rich," you're commanding your mind to accept that as your current reality. It's such a small change in words, but the difference in programming is massive.
Section 4, Unlocking Advanced Techniques. Okay, once you've got those fundamentals down, we can start to explore the next level.
This is where we move beyond the basics of reprogramming and start working with some of the deeper, more powerful forces inside your mind.
Now, when you get to this level, it can look like there are two different paths. On one hand, you have the law of attraction, which is all about focusing on positive thoughts to bring about positive results. On the other hand, you have shadow work, which is, well, it's the opposite. It's about bravely facing all the stuff we've pushed down, our fears, our insecurities. But here's the secret. You don't have to choose one or the other. True mastery is about using both. You use shadow work to clean out the junk, the old negative programming, and then you use the law of attraction to intentionally install the new, positive programming you want.
In this quote from Albert Einstein, it's the perfect setup for our final and maybe the most powerful tool of all. He said, "A logic will get you from A to B. Imagination will get you anywhere." We tend to really underestimate the raw power of our imagination, but when you think about it, it's the creative force behind almost every great thing humanity has ever done.
And here's why that's so important. It brings us to a huge insight. Your subconscious, that supercomputer we talked about, it doesn't speak the language of logic. It speaks in images, in feelings, in metaphors. That is its native language. So developing your imagination isn't just some fun creative exercise. No, it's the most direct and powerful way to communicate with your subconscious and create deep, real, lasting change.
Look, mastering your mind is a journey. It's not some final destination you arrive at. We've gone over the foundation, we've looked at the toolkit, and we've even touched on some advanced techniques. So now, the only question that really matters is, what's your first step going to be? Because that one small step, the one you take today, that's where the whole incredible journey begins.